All right, what's going on, guys? This is Dr.Gosalia. I'm here talking to our good friends at HearWorks. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, but we have Tucker Worcester and Eric Sorensen. So, Tucker, can you introduce yourself, please?
So Tucker Worcester, co-founder of HearWorks that we started at the end of 2016, and happy to be here. Thank you for having us.
You can just say founder. You don't have to say co-founder. It's all right.
Well, I was the founder, and then I brought in Eric about 5 years later. So, but technically, I'm the co-founder out of respect to Eric because we were not HearWorks until Eric came. So I'm still the co-founder.
And does Eric get paid hourly, or is that hourly wages?
No, I eat a lot of Lunchables because I had to bring Eric on as a partner.
Of course, we're joking. Eric, introduce yourself, please.
Well, Tucker's never gone down, but he's never been happier. So in the last 2 years. So there you go.
I mean, look at, he's smiling.
Eric Sorensen, co-founder of the HearWorks. Yeah. My name is Eric Sorensen. I'm the co-founder of the HearWorks now as it is today, of course. And it's good to be here with you again.
Yeah, so we did a talk, about a year ago, kind of before Oddboss last year. So what's been going on with HearWorks? What are you guys up to? What do you guys do for those that don't know what HearWorks does? And how can you help practices?
Well, we always call HearWorks a strategic growth company. And you say the word growth and it's like, well, everybody says that. Like, do you really, truly help people grow or not? And we have a unique story in the sense that when I came into hearing healthcare about, 4 or 5 years ago, I saw an opportunity to really bring up to speed marketing tools, tactics, strategies, as well as marketing automation, which at the time was relatively unknown. Right now, a lot of people know about it. And so we literally created an entirely new system based on psychology, based on marketing principles, and a journey to go along with it to be able to help practices grow from the outside in, right? In other words, through marketing, through automation, to help drive more private pay business, especially in a world with so many threats like third party and OTC and everything that we all face every day. As part of that, I bought practices, as you guys know, a few years ago, for the sole reason of really testing and proving everything that we did and make sure that we did it the right way. It was a lot of work, but now we're the growth that you've seen and our expansion has been part of that hard work, and frankly, after learning how not to do it and really just applying how to do it and making sure that we can do it not just in one state, but in all 50 states if needed. And so we call it the Journey Influence marketing model. It's a totally new system that really creates a raving fan, not just a sell. And so it incorporates all of the psychology, but it also incorporates things like providing value and creating experience and creating raving fans that review, that refer, that are retained, and that repurchase. And so it's really cool frameworks like that that have been the staple of what we do. So in a nutshell, we grow you through marketing and we grow you through automation, and then a million programs in between that are part of that support that.
Yeah, the 4 R's, right? Is that the 4 R's? Is that
That is the 4 R's. I talked about them, I think, in Oddboss 2 years ago.
Yeah, very impactful stuff. And I see behind Tucker's head, not only do we see HearWorks, but we see something called Platinum Partners. I know a lot of Oddbosses and colleagues of mine are Platinum Partners. What is Platinum Partners?
Well, the Tucker's definition and Eric's definition may be a little different. It's kind of comical how it came to be. But so Eric mentioned, our programs are designed for the business from the outside in, right? Mm-hmm. So Platinum Partners is really about the ownership inside out. Okay, so it's more about the actual owner, having them reach their potential. I'm bungling in. I'll let Eric kind of give his spiel on it too. It also, to give him some credit, both he and I are in various coaching programs. And so one of the ones that Eric is in isn't cheap. And so to his credit, he took his creativity and he wanted to find a way to help us and our clients by him entering the program. And he figured out if we created something like that for our own clients, it would enable us to get into that program ourselves.
Well, it was a Friday night in Orlando in a hotel room at a conference. And we go to a lot of conferences outside of the industry. And I'm sitting there thinking about, the fact that we solve a few major problems at HearWorks, but then there's like 10 others that practice owners talk to us about all the time that are mostly internal. I mean, you can do all the marketing in the world, but if you don't have your act together from the operations standpoint, you're not going to grow as fast. You won't be able to handle the leads. You won't be able to properly take care of them and make sure that they go through the process and frankly, convert them. And we also know so many practice owners struggle with time. And how do I get enough done in the day? Where should I spend my time? Hiring is a big one. Firing is a big one. So there's all these challenges, and we were good at a lot of them, but there were a lot of them that we didn't have answers for. And so I'm sitting there on a Friday night, and this idea for Platinum Partners. I mean, have you ever had this, like just a download where all of a sudden it was like the light was shining and you really just knew the answer? Has that ever happened to you?
Oh yeah, absolutely. All the time.
I'm sure. So I'm sitting there and the light bulb goes on, and I spent 2 hours literally just writing out the whole program. Now, it took a lot to create the program, but the idea itself literally came in a burst of inspiration over 2 hours. We launched the program, we limited it because we wanted to make an impact, and it sold out in just, I think, 3 days or something like that. Yeah. And so we created the program, and essentially what Platinum Partners is, we literally put every resource possible to solve the problems that they have externally and internally to be able to hit the growth goals that they have for the next year. So it's literally a 1-year program where we're holding the hands of the practice owners, not just us, but we brought in coaches from inside and outside of the industries, trainers, influencers. We have one of our operations partners is a guy that took a practice from $30,000 to over $3.5 million, and then ended up adding and expanding it to $8.5 million in like a 3-4 year span. The guy's amazing. Wow. And he's been an integral part of teaching practice owners how they can do that in their own practice, assuming they want to grow and expand. And then we have a few in-person masterminds where we're immersing ourselves into their business for 2.5 days straight, all day, every day. And it's been incredible, and it's been kind of a life-changing experience for me and for a lot of the people that have been a part of it, because it is not what you see at like ADA or AAA. It's not what you see in a traditional industry conference. It is 100% focused on what things and decisions in your business will actually move the needle more than anything else for you to get to your growth goals. And how do we focus on that? How do we eliminate the problems, reduce the amount of pain? Because let's be honest, it's kind of painful sometimes running a business. Elon Musk said running a business is like putting a ball and chain over your ankles and dropping yourself to the bottom of the ocean and then chewing glass. I mean, it's a little bit, extreme, but it is painful sometimes. And so Platinum Partners really solved that. Now, if you want to know what we're doing for the next, well, we did it for a year. We're doing it for a year. That ends in September. We're going to open up enrollment again here in September. We're going to add a few more slots, and they'll probably sell out really quick. It's by application only. So when people talk to us, they're like, I want to do Platinum Partners. I'm like, no, you can't, because we're really selective, because we want to make sure that not only is it something you want? Do you really want to grow and you're willing to put in the work to grow? But can you contribute to the rest of the group as well? What superpowers do you have? What skills do you have that you can actually take to the group, so that we can put together sort of this puzzle of people that have different skill sets that can also network and collaborate, which is like one of the most powerful things of the group. And wait till you hear what we're going to do in 23. I mean, it's insane what we've put together for 2023. But yeah, that's essentially was the vision for it. And it has been one of the most incredible, fun, and fulfilling experiences that I have ever had in my career.
So I have a couple questions about Platinum Partners, but before I do that, would you be open to talking a little bit about some of the leadership and inspirational groups that you guys are a part of? Because I know that I know, Tucker, you're part of this as well, but the Entree Leadership Group with the Ramsey guys, Dave Ramsey and his team, and Tony Robbins and their teams, and Michael Gerber and all these influencers in a different way, not social media influencers, but they're lifestyle and business influencers. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you guys are doing and what programs you guys are a part of?
Sure. So I'm in entree leadership, basically at its highest level. So I just finished entree leadership in Orlando a few weeks ago. I'm going to do Master Series, which is the week before Odd Boss. As you know, John Deloney and I have been super close friends since we were 13 years old. So there's something there already. Eric and I are both also in Inner Circle with Russell Brunson. And I also follow, oh my gosh, Donald Miller, who coincidentally is from Pearland, where I live, and now lives in Nashville, not too far from John. So those are the three that I'm involved in.
It's funny you asked that, because my life up until about 3.5 years ago, when I had some pretty challenging experiences in my life, I had probably read 2 books. I would never go to a seminar. I would never be a part of a mastermind ever. And my world changed over about a 1.5, 2-year period. And I actually went back and looked because I was curious. I had read something like 160 books in a 2-year period. And then I did 784 hours of immersion events. Like I did all 7 Tony Robbins events in 1 year, for example. Insane. The Donald Miller's programs as well. We did that. Currently, there's a few major groups that I'm a part of right now. I still do 2 to 3, maybe, well, actually more like 4 big immersion events every year. And the group that I'm in, so I'm in Inner Circle with Russell Brunson. Russell Brunson owns ClickFunnels, but he is a coach and a mentor. Incredible guy. You know, he was offered $1 billion for his company last year, and he said no. So he's one of my coaches, and we have 100 entrepreneurs. You have to have a certain like net worth or income rather to be able to be in that group, and it's not cheap, but the network is insane. I mean, our goal is to reach up as high as we can. And if we can't get it in the industry, we go outside of the industry. So I would say right now, probably in terms of leadership, coaching, training, marketing, 80% of what we learn and we surround ourselves are actually people outside of the industry and 20% inside. Just because I think there's some things that the industry is missing that we could bring into the industry. So I'm in Tony Robbins' Inner Circle, and I have a personal coach. Her name is Dr. Shannon Irvine. She's a neuropsychologist, and then she's an entrepreneur, and she's the one that helps me get out of my own way. She helps you using neuroscience to be able to work with the brain, to change your behaviors, to get to where you want to go, to get to your ultimate goals of impact and influence, which are my 2 big goals that I have. And then inside of actually in the Inner Circle that I mentioned with Russell Brunson, I have 2 other coaches that are inside of that group that I work with as well. So we invest a ton of money in training. And you know me from past that I'm a 4:30 a.m. guy, and I spend the first 2 hours of my day learning and reading a book or training on something. So we're constantly trying to improve, constantly trying to grow. And frankly, it's now my favorite part of the day. It's like so crazy cool to fill your mind with something cool and inspirational in the morning. And it's been life-changing for me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. So I get up 4:30 every day, and it's the best part of the day because it's quiet. Number one. Number 2,
Yes.
brain's ready to go. You're ready to absorb everything. That's fantastic. And I agree. I think it's smart looking outside the industry, which you guys have done a fantastic job of doing, because there's only so much in our profession, and the folks that are in our profession are generally audiologists who aren't and I say it's carefully, but most of them are not the best business minded or motivational, or I should say inspirational folks out there. So it's good to have that. So let's go back into the profession. So the folks that are in Platinum Partners, or even your customers at HearWorks, what are they saying, or what are you guys seeing in terms of growth from their practices?
Well, I can answer that. So yesterday I was literally on a call with a client in Texas, and she said on the call, she's like, I need to go out, and she's an Odd Boss member, by the way. She's like, I need to go out and tell the whole world there's 2 things that anybody needs to do in order to like create explosive growth in their practice. And I'm like, what is that? She's like, you need a really good reputation management system, and you need HearWorks. Those are the 2 things you need. And I said, can I quote you on that? And she said, yes, you can quote me on that. I said, okay, great. That's actually a practice owner that started. I met her actually at Odd Boss Denver. I think it was Denver.
Yeah.
And she came up to our booth, and she was a sole provider, and she's like, I don't really necessarily have enough business for another provider, but I know I need another audiologist. And we helped her with that and through that, and she hired us, and she was under $1 million. Now she just on August 1st is opening up her second office. She's probably close to double that right now. I don't know, but it's been incredible growth for her. I mean, that's just one example of dozens we could give you of the experience that people have had. Platinum Partners has been just incredible as well in terms of the growth. A lot of our Platinum Partners are marketing clients as well, not all of them, but a lot of them. And so we're helping them with both sides, outside and inside side of their business. And, you know, we had a client there that said, hey, you know what, for like 8 years, we've been working on these things and knowing we need to do this, we need to do that, we need to expand, and we need to grow, and we want to, we just don't know how. And the comment in our last mastermind, which was in Austin last month, she said, you know, we've done in 5 months now what we weren't able to do in 8 years. I mean, one of our goals is to accelerate the level of achievement. And one of the challenges I think practice owners have is they might say, you know, I've been in the business for 8 years, right? And a lot of us like grow a lot and we learn a lot in the first year, and then we kind of just do this for a while. And sometimes it's like, well, wait a minute, you haven't really been in business 8 years. You've been in business 1 year, 8 times. And so a lot of us do that. And then all of a sudden you join a program like Platinum Partners and you 8 years of work in 5 months. That's insane. And they just opened up another office too. They're exploding their growth. It's been really cool. And they just hired us on literally just this last month as their marketing team, in addition to what we were doing with Platinum Partners. So it's pretty cool.
I understand you guys have this exclusive new project that you guys are working on, and only a handful of people really know what it is. And I understand that you guys are going to be announcing that right here, right now. So can you please share with us what this announcement is, please?
You know, it's funny, we announced it to our Platinum Partners in May, and at the end of announcing this, there were like cheers, people were clapping. It was the coolest thing ever. We announced what we are doing with Platinum Partners 2023, which we can talk about if you want, but we have been working on a super secret project for quite some time. To be honest, we've gone back and forth with it. Like, should we do it? Should we not do it? How is this going to work? Because there's a lot of moving parts that are required in order to make this happen. However, one of the things that we wanted to do was to create an event that would bring high-level individuals that have had a lot of success in areas of their lives that match most of them from outside of the industry. And so we looked at this, like, how do we do this? How do we create not just an inspirational, but a very practical, like, strategy of this is a way to be able to get information out there that can be life-changing. I mean, I mentioned to you that I spent a couple of years just immersing into events, and I've been to so many events now. By the way, I met Tony Robbins for the first time 4 weeks ago in an event, and I had a chance to meet him after. It was pre-set up, and he met my kids and everything. It was a really cool experience. But what we see outside of the industry, and then we go to industry events inside of the industry, and it's vastly different. Yep. And so we have decided to create, do you want a drum roll? Drum roll, Tucker? You're like, just say it already. We decided to create HearWorld 2023. Now, HearWorld, what it is, it's a 2-day business immersion event where we're bringing the top authors and coaches and entrepreneurs from outside of the industry with a few inside of the industry to be able to come and speak and have workshops and trainings on how you can hit your goals from the inside out and the outside in. It's focused 100% on growth. It will not be at all medical focused. And I say that, what I mean is we're not going to be talking about diagnostics or things related to the treatment process, but because the truth is most providers, most audiologists are really good at that already. We wanted to focus on how can you move your treatment rate from 50% to 80%? How can you move how can you get more out of your marketing? How can you get more business in the front door? How can you level up as a business owner to make better decisions? How can you secure financial freedom for you and your practice? How can you essentially be able to rise up to who you are and your potential and own life rather than life owning you? And as part of that, we're going to do some things prior to it that are fun challenges and other things that I think can lead up to this. But we're reaching up to some pretty big names right now, and we can't make any announcements yet. We're going to announce the dates. It's going to be early 2023. And we're bringing some pretty big names from outside of the industry that have written some pretty, like, New York Times bestsellers, et cetera, and rearranging this. Problem is, as you know, Amit, the reason why we struggle is because this is very expensive to do, as you can imagine. I talked to Tony Robbins, but he's $500,000 to speak. Yep. And he's got a 5-year waiting list, so that didn't work out. Right. But yeah, so we're really putting a lot behind this, because I think it will actually not be, hey, we had an idea or two. We want a transformational experience, meaning you're going to go there and you're going to walk out of there saying, oh my gosh, my life was changed. And the only reason why I know that can happen is because me and a lot of my colleagues have been able to go to other events outside of the industry and walk out and say, oh my gosh, we're literally, like, people are crying and it changed my life, and we see their businesses explode after. it is really, really excited about HearWorks 2023. Really excited.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Looking forward to seeing more about it. And but you guys are a big sponsor of Odd Boss as well. And I wanted to touch on that a little bit before we let you guys go. But you guys have been sponsoring for the last 3 years now, right? So almost 4 years actually. And we really appreciate that. So this year we have a keynote speaker, and Tucker already mentioned him earlier, but Dr. John Deloney, who's part of the Entree Leadership. He's got a podcast as well under the Entree Leadership podcast series. And I actually subscribed to it. I've been following John for a long time. So tell us more about your involvement with Odd Boss and why people should go.
I mean, I've said this to you. I mean, first of all, we sponsor because April's a very good negotiator. So for 3 years, April's done a really good job of sucking as much sponsorship out of HearWorks as possible. So we gotta give her some credit there. No, I mean, Eric and I, and you remember this even before Eric and I got together, is you were talking to both me as Odd Standard and Eric as Paradigm Growth 360. He and I have always believed that really the future of our profession is largely based on the exact same people that are in Odd Boss. They're forward thinking, they're true to their craft, they're independent, audiologists. They own their business. Selfishly, as someone who's probably gone to I don't know, I've probably been to 200 events in my 16 years in hearing healthcare. It's not like going to an event and a third of the people are students, the other third are international, and then you're left with a third that maybe dispensers or something else. And it's just, there's not a whole lot of meat on the bone to the actual convention. Almost everybody at Odd Boss is a decision maker, right? So it's well worth the investment. And that's one of the reasons why Eric and I have really kind of jumped in with both feet since as soon as we could with Denver, last year in Miami, and then obviously this year in Disney. We're really looking forward to it. So yeah, so we're doing obviously John attending is kind of a mutual effort between us and April and you. We are also sponsoring, we have the Angels event before Odd Boss gets started. And while we're technically kind of booked, I think we may be able to get a few other people in if there's some interest still there, which I highly recommend. Then at the end, we're because of the success that the 80s party had last year, we thought we would go ahead and do a 90s party this year. And so, and John will be signing books and stuff during that. So he and I may get dressed up together, since my current business partner had zero interest in putting on any costume last year. So I know I can't depend on him for a 90s costume. So yeah, I mean, we've always felt that this show was well worth the investment. We've seen a great success starting in Denver, and Eric actually attended in Naples as an owner. So yeah, it's always made sense to us. It's really, I don't think it's never not made sense for us to be a big part of it.
I think you had Spud McKenzie, right? Was that?
I was Spud McKenzie. So unlike my business partner, I actually did some research and put some effort into the contest last year.
I think your business partner came in shorts and a t-shirt, if I'm not mistaken, which I
I think he pretty much, I think he wore what he's wearing right now on the call. It's basically
Maybe.
what he showed up like.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Not a chance.
Yeah, Eric, if you oh my gosh, I'm looking forward to seeing some AC Slater and Zach Morris action here. I think that's
Yes.
so,
Oh yeah.
yeah, right. Eric, if you had anything to mention there too, please.
Yeah, just really quick. My first year, I came as a practice owner, and as we were building HearWorks at the time, I think it was shortly thereafter, one of the things that you guys have done better than anything else is you've actually not just created an organization, you've created an identity. I mean, people say I'm an odd boss. Like, not, I am an odd boss. They don't say I go to odd boss. They say I am an odd boss. It's kind of like this badge of, you know what, we do it right. We are the top 1%. We will create the experience. We'll do whatever it takes to grow. And it's a pretty tight knit group as well. And so that first year that I went as a practice owner, I saw some things that I didn't see anywhere in the industry at the Odd Boss event in Naples. And then, of course, we knew we had to get involved. And so the second year and the third year, I was a dual practice owner / HearWorks co-founder. So I was there to help my practice grow, but at the same time, you know, how do we serve the community in the best way possible? So for me, I actually don't think there's any other group better than Odd Boss, period. I really don't, inside of the industry. I think you guys have done it better. And you successfully, clearly created an identity for the group, which is awesome.
And I agree with everything you just said, 100%. So before I let you guys go, any final words, any thoughts? How can people contact you that are interested in the Platinum Partners, which is happening in open enrollment in September, or if somebody just needs some marketing help or whatever, how can they contact you? And any final thoughts, please?
Well, you can go to hearworks.com/ oh, go ahead, Tucker.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, you could do that, or I mean, it's real easy. It's just Tucker at hearworks.com or Eric with a K at hearworks.com. You know, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Perfect.
If you want to be on the list to be contacted for Platinum Partners, let us know, and when we open up enrollment, because it's, you know, all the Platinum Partners that are returning this year will have obviously the first chance. So that's already going to be pretty full already to start with, but we'll have a few slots available, which would be great. So
awesome. Hey, well, you both know that I really appreciate you both, and really appreciate everything you guys are doing with Odd Boss. And I know a lot of my close personal friends who are Odd Bosses as well, who are part of Platinum Partners or even just HearWorks in general. Everybody's happy. They sing your praises. So really kudos to both of you and your teams. And we look forward to seeing you guys in Anaheim at the House of Blues this fall. So talk about a real stage. We're going to be up, you know, like 90s rock stars on that stage all weekend long. It's going to be a great time. And you can learn more about that at oddboss.com. Eric and Tucker, thanks, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.